Does Arsenal still need Youri Tielemans? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to She Knows Arsenal. My name is Jessica. I'm your host. You can follow me on Twitter at @JessinoTweets and at SheKnowsArsenal. Welcome to another video. You guys, I've been seeing tweets like this, tweets like this, tweets like this over the last couple of weeks regarding that midfield position, and I thought it'd be a really interesting video to do around whether or not Arsenal still need Youri Tielemans. Now, since the beginning of the window, and actually going all the way back to January, Arsenal have been linked to Youri Tielemans of Leicester City. Now, the word on the street was that we wanted to bring in Youri Tielemans for around £25 million. He has 1 year left on his deal. He was all in on Arsenal's project, and he was a priority in this window. And as the window has gone on, we have signed players. We've signed Gabriel Jesus, Fabio Vieira, as well as Alexander Zinchenko. But there's been relatively no movement on the end of Youri Tielemans, and there's a lot of different theories out there on why that is. One theory is that we're trying to whittle down the price, and wait until the last week of the window to just try to force Leicester's hand a little bit. There's another theory out there that we actually have to remove players or move players out, like Granit Xhaka or another midfielder, in order to bring him in. And then some people just believe that we're actually not that interested in him and that things have really changed since the window has opened. So I think there is a question around whether or not Arsenal will bring in Youri Tielemans. But as Arsenal fans, I do think we have to question ourselves and say, is this somebody that we even need to bring in? Have we convinced ourselves that this is the right profile? Maybe we need to do something different. Now, one of the most important factors of this conversation is how the midfield has evolved over the last couple of months. Last season, we did see a shift from Arsenal from a 4-2-3-1 to something more like a 4-3-3, where xhaka, who was playing in that left 8 position, was a lot more box to box and more willing to push into the attacking third. And for me, that's where the idea around maybe a different type of player coming in really came about. Now, I've always been somebody that's kind of believed that we need to upgrade upon xhaka, but the more that the left 8 position evolved, the more clear it became what kind of player needed to be in that position. If there's less defensive responsibility on the left-sided 8 position, and that person is going to be pushing into the attack, making late runs into the box and trying to get into those attacking positions, then we need somebody that can add goals and assists to Arsenal. And so for me, I thought Youri Tielemans really fit that 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 description. He's somebody that has Premier League experience. He's 25, and before last season, where he did have a poor season for Leicester City, albeit their entire team was quite poor. Before that, if you had to describe Youri Tielemans, you could say that he was a technical player that was really good in deeper positions in midfield, as well as pushed up a little bit further in that 8-10 position for Leicester, that added goals and assists and was a little bit more attacking than maybe somebody like Granit Xhaka, less of a central defensive midfielder and more of just like a traditional 8. And so for me, he fit the profile quite well, even though there are some limitations to Youri Tielemans' game, which we've been through many, many, many times. Now, the season has started, and I have to say that Granit Xhaka has been playing really well in that free 8 position on the left-hand side. He has 1 goal and 1 assist already in the season, and you're seeing him really pop up in the box. In the last game that we played against Leicester City, he had that 1 cross that he got on the end of for a header that could have easily been a goal. And then he hit for the goal that he actually got. It was one of those late third man runs into the box where in the last couple of years, we haven't really seen anybody pick up those positions. Like the last person that we saw really pick up those positions was Aaron Ramsey. We've really missed that. And now the way that we play with more of 2 free 8s, xhaka has really stepped up to the plate in terms of adding a little bit more attacking prowess in his game, which really does highlight the question around whether or not we need to bring in Youri Tielemans if xhaka has improved that part of his game. If he can close the gap on Youri Tielemans in terms of what he can do in the attack, then maybe we don't actually need Youri Tielemans. And maybe that's why Arsenal haven't pulled the trigger. Things have changed. We've also brought in a player named Fabio Vieira, who Arsenal and Arteta have already confirmed will be competing with xhaka in that left 8 position. So if he's not going to be playing, if we already have 2 players there, where will he play for Arsenal? Maybe they envision him playing on the right. I'm not sure, but there has to be a reason why Arsenal haven't pulled the trigger on what seems to be a relatively straightforward deal for Youri Tielemans with 1 year left on his deal. So I don't know, you guys. I'm thinking that we don't actually need Youri Tielemans right now. But does that mean that we don't need a center midfielder? That's where the focus, I think, has to change. If you have Fabio Vieira and Granit Xhaka in that left 8 position, you have Odegaard and Smith Rowe that can play in that right 8 position, and you have Zinchenko that can also fill in those positions. The open midfield position that needs to be underpinned is the person that's going to come in for Thomas Partey when he inevitably is injured this season. That is where the weakness lies, and that's where I feel like Arsenal should turn their attention to. Arsenal should be looking to bring in a central defensive midfielder to fill in for Thomas Partey. He is a single point of failure still in this team. If he gets injured, we can no longer play the way that we want to. And I'm not sure that moving back into a 4-2-3-1 gives us that same ability to play the way that we've been playing in these first 2 games this season. So for me, I would like to see maybe Arsenal turn their attention to a central defensive midfielder instead. And it can't just be anybody, right? We know that the way that Thomas Partey plays that position, the way it's set up in Arteta's system, it has to be somebody that can not only do the defensive work and cover ground, but can also dictate play from deep. It's a very difficult position to fill, but it's something that Arsenal really need to look at, because we know that there's a huge gap in between Thomas Partey and El Neni. And with Sambi looking like he's going to be playing more of an 8 role as well this season, we are well stocked in the 8 positions, and we need to find somebody that can play in that 6. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. You guys can let me know in the comment section what you think on whether or not Arsenal still need to bring in Youri Tielemans, or if we need to look at somebody else. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you like these types of videos. I don't do them very often. They're kind of awkward because I'm used to talking to you guys live. But if you do enjoy this type of content, let me know and I'll be happy to create more of those for you. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon.